if you decide I'm going to crack this code book open religiously every single night, screw that 3 times a week, screw that few times a week, screw that 5 hours on Saturday I keep promising myself I'm going to do. But if you say, man, I'm going to crack this book open religiously every single day, I don't care if it's 15 minutes, I don't care if I can only answer one question, you're going to see an improvement because you're choosing to do that. Hey, what's up, everyone? This is Ruben Young, aka the Young Electrician. Here on this podcast, we like to see electricians grow, not just in the field, but also in their personal lives. With that said, we're going to hop right into it. Today's episode, we're going to be talking about taking ownership in 2026. So let's hop right into it. Also, at the end of today's episode, I am going to be telling you guys how to enter into win our first big giveaway. And there's going to be either a 2023 or 2022 NEC plus a 2023 or 2022 Journeyman Prep book. So somebody's going to win that. I'm going to tell you guys later on how to enter in to win that. And yeah, I'm really excited. We're going to announce the winner towards the end of January sometimes, and then I'll be sending out a Journeyman Prep book and an NEC to one person. All right, so let's hop right into it. All right, so what does it mean to take ownership? Okay, let me give you an example of what it doesn't mean to take ownership. So let's say you're playing sports and you win a basketball game, right? When we win, we credit ourselves for it. We say, man, I won because I put in the effort. I won because I'm talented. I won because I'm really good at this game, whatever it may be. But oftentimes when somebody loses, what do they say? Oh, I lost because, oh, my knee hurt that day, so I wasn't really playing, my best game. Or I lost because, they weren't really playing fair on the other team. They were ganging up against me or whatever. I don't know what it is. But it's always somebody else or something else. And that's what's called not taking ownership. If I lost, it's my fault. I have to take ownership. And I'm going to tell you why that's so important. Specifically when you're trying to get certified, you're trying to become a contractor, you're trying to move up in your field, your career, your relationship, whatever it is, your health, your mental health, whatever it is, you have to take ownership of it. Now, it's important because if you aren't in the predicament that you're in because of your own shortcomings and because you just weren't trying hard enough or whatever it may be, maybe you're depressed, maybe you've been just a little comfortable in your life, a little bit lazy, whatever the reason. If you're not in the predicament that you're in right now because of you, then you're probably not going to be the one to get you out of it. Does that make sense? If you aren't certified right now because you weren't studying or you weren't taking it seriously, then, and let's say it is somebody else. Let's say your boss overworks you. Let's say your family asks too much of you, right? And it really is their fault. Then the only way you're going to get certified is if one of them permit you the time to actually study and get certified. Now you're giving ownership over to them. You're giving ownership to your boss, to your family, and they're really the ones that are running your life. And it doesn't have to be that way. You have to take ownership of these things, not in like a jerk way, but just realizing that your life is your responsibility. If you succeed at something, it is because of you. If you fail at something, it's nobody else's fault but your own. And that's not a bad thing. It's not bad to fail. It's bad to not try. It's bad to make excuses when you fail. Just accept it. The first time I went to take the Journeyman exam, I failed. Do you know why I failed? Because I chose to play a little game called State of Decay 2 when I was supposed to be studying. And this is to my own shame. I have depressive episodes in my life and I feel a little bad, a little down during COVID. Me and my wife were working. We were both a little stressed out. The whole world was falling apart, right? And I allowed myself to believe that my circumstances were dire and that I needed a little bit of, relaxing time. So when I was supposed to be studying my NEC and getting certified, instead, I needed a little me time. I think a little too much me time too. So I started playing a game called State of Decay. And I would play that game for hours. I don't play as much anymore, any type of video game right now, but I would. And when it came to take the exam, I failed and I knew why. Because when I could have picked up this book, I could have studied more. I could have really buffered my or beefed up my chances for passing the exam, I chose to play this stupid video game. I chose that. Nobody held the gun to my head. Nobody made it harder. I chose to do that. All those years when I wasn't certified, and I just said, man, like, nobody showed me how to fill out the paperwork. Nobody's showing me what I'm supposed to study. Like, that was my fault. I didn't go out and try to find it. Instead, I just self-soothed with other things, or kept myself busy or distracted and made excuses. But the reality is, I didn't feel like I had the confidence. Therefore, I chose not to pursue it. And no matter what other obstacles were in my way, it's not about them. It was my fault. It was my fault. I failed, or I prolonged getting certified because of myself, nobody else, no other circumstance. So if you are where you are because of you, then you could have the confidence that you can make the change to get you out of there. So if you've been struggling trying to study, struggling back and forth with, should you try to get that C10 license, or your contracting license, or your master's license, whatever it may be, or should you start that business, should you take a business class, whatever it may be, you're the determining factor in whether or not you're going to do that. And as simple as it sounds, it is you choosing to do that. Are you going to choose to do that, or are you going to choose to continue to make excuses? And I don't say that to be mean. It's a reality that I face. It's a reality that you have to face. It's a reality that all of us face. We want to make excuses because whatever reason. If you do want to get certified and you get home and you say, man, I'm tired from work. I'm tired from work. I'm going to sit down. I'm going to watch some sports. I'm going to play some video games. I'm going to chill for like an hour. I'm just going to relax. Hour goes by, now you got to put the kids to bed. You're going to chill with the wife and or your husband if you're a girl. And then now the day's over. If you sit down to play that Xbox, if you sit down to watch those sports, watch that TV, read that book, whatever the heck it is, you're choosing to do that. Now, if you sit down and you crack that code book open, if you decide, I'm going to crack this code book open religiously every single night, screw that 3 times a week, screw that few times a week, screw that 5 hours on Saturday I keep promising myself I'm going to do. But if you say, man, I'm going to crack this book open religiously every single day, I don't care if it's 15 minutes, I don't care if I can only answer one question, man, you're going to see an improvement because you're choosing to do that. Your mind might tell you, man, you're too tired. You can't answer no journeyman prep questions. Screw that. When you make the decision to be the reason why you succeed, to be the reason why you pick up this NEC and you start to study it, you're going to see an improvement. Because every day, if you're choosing not to, that's a choice you're making. But just like you're making that choice to not do it, you can make the choice to do it. But it has to be your fault. You have to realize whether you win, whether you lose, whether you succeed, whether you fail, it's on you. And accept that. If you could accept that responsibility and realize it's not on anybody else's shoulders. It's not your boss's fault. It's not your spouse's fault. It's not your kid's fault. It's not your circumstance's fault. It's your fault. Then you can be the reason why you succeed. 2, if you're going to reach your goals this year, you need to choose your own schedule. And I say you have to choose your own schedule and not you have to make your own schedule, because I want to emphasize the fact that you need to choose what goes into your schedule. You need to choose what goes into your schedule based off of what is important to you. Now you're thinking about the next month, what's going to go in your schedule, your daily routine, what's important to you, what are your goals? Is watching sports getting you closer to your goal, or is it keeping you from your goal? Maybe it doesn't need to be in your schedule. Maybe you need to just sit a season out and not watch the game, whatever it may be. Or maybe you need to put those video games down and, ruin your high score, your kill-death ratio, whatever the heck it is, and not play that video game. Maybe, you put that book down, you don't read that book. Whatever it may be. Maybe you play sports and, you play for a city team or whatever the heck it is. You play with your friends on the weekends. Maybe you got to sit out of that for a while. You have to think, does this get me closer to my goal, or does it bring me further from my goal? Is it keeping me from my goal? Because whatever you do, it's your choice. You're choosing to do it. So you have to decide what makes it into your schedule and what doesn't make it into your schedule. And it needs to be it needs to have some parameters. It has to be based off of what gets you closer to your goal. And I don't think everything has to, every single piece in your schedule during the week has to get you closer to your goal. You do need some time, some leisure time. You need to rest. Every knife needs to be resharpened, so to speak. So you do need that. But if you're scheduling it in, and if you know, hey, on Saturday, man, I'm chilling. I'm not cracking my code book open. I'm chilling. I'm going to hang out with my family. I'm going to rest. I'm going to recuperate. I'm going to rejuvenate, whatever it may be. I'm not opening my code book because you don't have to. Why? Because during the week, you know, man, I'm cracking that code book open. I don't care if it's 15 minutes, 30 minutes, 2 hours, whatever I can do. I'm cracking that code book open. I'm answering some questions, or I'm getting my laptop opened up and I'm researching, how do I start a business? How do I work for myself? How do I become a C10 contractor? Or how do I go back to school? How do I advance in my career? Whatever it is, what company can I go work for that's going to advance me in my career? And why this is important is because I realized one thing. Any one of you guys that want to be a C10 contractor, that wants to get your journeyman certifications, if you have the hours, you can do it in 3 months. You can do it in 3 months. It takes about 2 months to hear back from the DIR here in California. I'm pretty sure it's probably similar in other states. Or the CSLB, California State Licensing Board for the C10. It takes about 2 months to hear back from these guys. During that 2 months, you could be studying. You could be studying that entire time, because you know what, dude? If you fill out the application and you send it in with the check, so long as you did everything right, you're going to hear back from them and you're going to be able to set up a date to go and take your exam. So if you study for those 2 months leading up to when you hear back from them, and then you set that date 1 month out, that's 3 months of solid studying. You will be able to go in there and pass the exam. I guarantee you guys, if you guys are studying, if you guys are putting the effort in, you could be certified within 3 months. If you put the effort in, you could start a business, start a company, get your C10 license, and be working for yourself in like the next 3 months. So I just want to give you that encouragement. Things don't take 5, 10, 15, 20 years to do. They only take that long when we keep procrastinating. Why are we procrastinating? Because we're not taking ownership of it. Oh man, I was going to start a business this year, but I'm too busy with work. You don't want to. You don't want it enough, or you don't believe that you are responsible for your own success. You need to take ownership of that. Man, if you want to start a business this year, you have to be the reason. And honestly, kind of realizing this myself, that you have to be the reason why you succeed. I realize there's certain things that I don't want to do, certain things I was pursuing that I don't want to do. And I need to realize, like, man, that's not although those things are good, although those things might be beneficial, I don't actually want to do them. I like them, I was interested in them, but I'm not now. And that's okay. Because what's going to happen is you're going to keep moving in a direction because you think you have to go in that direction, but you don't. You shouldn't be stuck going in a direction that you don't want to. If you were studying to get your C10 license and you realize, like, man, I actually don't want to be a contractor. I keep seeing these videos on being a contractor and it sounds really cool and you can make a lot of money, but that's not really what I'm interested in. I want to be a project manager. Go back to school for project managing. I want to be a foreman. All right, well, start prepping yourself. Start learning how to read blueprints, learning the scheduling of a job site, and learn how to order materials. Start trying to get more responsibility from your company, or leave your company to a company that has growth. Start moving in that direction. Don't move in a direction because other people are telling you it's good. It could be good, but it might not be something you want to do. There are plenty of good directions that you could go in. Somebody told me something a long time ago that I really loved, and I think it helped me out a lot. He said, if you do not make your own schedule, everyone else will make it for you. I want you to think about this in your life, man. If you don't make your own schedule, somebody else will. Everybody else around you is going to make your schedule for you. You have to have those boundaries up in your own life to where you could tell your boss, man, no, I can't work overtime. Is the money good? Yeah. But you know what? The money's going to be better when you get certified. I have a lot of people tell me that. I hear that a lot. Man, I can't get certified. Man, I don't got time to study. I'm working 10 days, 10 hours a day plus Saturday, sometimes Sunday. Money's good. I'm like, yeah, you know what? Money's good when you get certified too. Sometimes you got to tell your boss, I can't do it. I can't work that. I can't work that long. You need to take responsibility of your own career, of your own success. It's not your boss's fault. It's your responsibility. Because one day, dude, if you get laid off from that job and you're just, a 10, 15, 20 year ET and nobody wants to hire you because you're not certified and they only hire journeymen or apprentices and you can't get a job, you can't say like, man, it was my boss's fault. No, it's your fault. You wanted those hours. You wanted that extra money. You wanted that short time of, being a baller. You didn't want to get certified. So I encourage you guys, man. Don't take the little carrot dangling over your head right now and run with it. You need to prepare for the future. Lastly, you have to ask yourself if there's been a goal. Like if you were like me and you were in the trade for a number of years and you still weren't certified, you have to ask yourself why you're not certified. You got to ask yourself, why haven't you done that thing that you've been wanting to do? Because the reason might be that you actually don't want to do it. I do a little bit of contracting, and the reason why I got a contracting license is because I almost got in trouble a long time ago. I almost got in trouble for contracting without a license, and that experience made me realize that if it was before I was married, like after I got married, I realized like, man, if something like that happens now, if I get in trouble and I jeopardize my family and their future, their finances, their well-being, because I'm too lazy to do things the right way and I'm willing to jeopardize their future and their well-being or their financial well-being because I'm too lazy to go get my contracting license and I'd rather, skirt around the edges and do things the wrong way, I'd be embarrassed. I'd be very embarrassed. So I got a contracting license in case I lose my job. I can go out and I can work for myself without worrying about anything. I think every journeyman should do that. You don't have to if you don't want to. I just believe if you have the opportunity to, you should. If you get laid off, I'm a journeyman. I get a job almost anywhere. If I get laid off, I go work for myself. I could go get work. But after doing that, I kind of liked the whole contracting thing. So I started getting into it more. I started getting more jobs. I hired a couple of people and it was going kind of cool for a while. But the more I did it, the more I realized I don't really like it. If I'm just working by myself, I kind of enjoy it, but that's not really what I like. So I got two options. I could continue in that direction even though I don't enjoy it. Or I could ask myself, man, like, what do I want to do? It's okay to change your mind. What do I want to do? And one of the things I'm planning on doing is going back to school for electrical engineering because it's something I'm interested in. Whether I'm going to continue in that direction or not, I don't know. But I know that I'm interested in it right now. And I know that even though I dropped out of high school and I got a GED when I was in, Soledad State Prison and I didn't have the best education growing up, if I succeed now, it's my fault. If I succeed now, it's my fault. I'm able to go to school, figure all this stupid calculus stuff out and trigonometry and all this other stuff. I can do it. I know I could do that. And I know you could do it too. Do I know trigonometry? Nope. I took a test the other day and I struggled with algebra. I understand journeyman prep math because I've done it. I understand the equations, but struggled with trigonometry, struggled with some algebra. And I'm like, man, I have to start back on a lot of the basics. And, it hurts my pride. It hurts my pride to take a step back. It might hurt your pride to lose a little bit of that overtime money because you got to go get certified. I understand. I get it. You don't have enough money to take little mama out or, buy the kids something nicer or whatever it may be. But you're sacrificing for the future. I know it's going to suck to go to school. Like I'm a foreman in the company that I'm working for right now, and I'm learning a lot. We're building these data centers, and it's super cool. I'm learning a lot. I'm married. I got to, spend time with my wife and continue to just nurture our relationship. But at the same time, I want to make sure that I have a good future for my family, for myself and for my family. And I know that having an electrical engineering degree under my belt, one, could allow me to step into that field. Two, could help me just in my current career. Having that under my belt, there's so many other opportunities I could do as an electrician, even in the company that I'm working with right now, or working for right now. So it's something that I want to do. You have to ask yourself, why haven't you succeeded in the direction that you're headed in right now? And for some of you, it's because you don't actually want to be an electrician. And it's not a bad thing. It is not a bad thing at all. A lot of people get stuck in a career that they don't like, or that they don't love, that they don't want to be in. And I'm going to tell you this. I don't talk about this a lot, but for years, I hated being an electrician. I did not like being an electrician. And the reason I didn't is because my perspective was wrong. I grew up Los Angeles, and, you know, four-time dropout, didn't really go to school. Family was a bunch of gang members, all that jazz. But one thing I remember is hearing in school that, you know, you should get an education, or else, you know, you're probably going to be working like a manual labor job. That's what they say, like a manual labor job. You know, construction. That's what the heck we do, manual labor. And also, all the people that were going in and out of jail that I knew growing up did construction. They all did construction. Some of them were electricians. And so in my mind, I really associated the trades with, the trades were for people like me, people that been to prison, people that struggled on drugs, people that, and for many people, it is that. It's, you know, just the reality of it. But in my mind, I thought it was a lesser job. I thought I was an electrician because I had a record, because I wasn't that smart, because I, you know, chose the wrong path in life. And I really thought it was a lower class of work. And so for a while, I really just didn't like it. I felt trapped. I felt trapped because I felt like I didn't choose it. I felt like I took it because it was the only thing available. But when I realized that being an electrician is a flipping great career, it changed my perspective. My perspective on my career changed. That's when I got certified. That's when I got my contracting license. Now I'm headed to go get an electrical engineering degree. And that's when this podcast started. All this stuff happened because my perspective changed. I desperately wanted to go and do something else as a career. And I think the difference is, in the beginning, it was the only choice I had. And looking at it now is with a better understanding that the trades are great, or the great careers that pay great money, and you could afford you a great life. I'm choosing it. Not because it's my only option. I understand now I have way more options, but I'm choosing it because it's the option that I want. I love being an electrician. I don't know if I always want to work with my hands and be on the field. I don't know if I want to be a contractor and do my own work, but I do love it. And I do know that there's nothing that can stand in my way and keep me from pursuing something greater. And I know the same is true for you guys. If you, any of you guys, man, you want to be contractor, project manager, don't limit yourself, man. You could learn any of these things. I think even 2 years ago, man, if somebody would have told me that, you know, it said, hey, why don't you go back to school for electrical engineering? I'd be like, dude, I can't do that. You know how stupid I am? I can't do that, dude. I'm not that smart. And those were my own limiting beliefs, not realizing that all these things are possible. You put your mind to it, you're able to do it. Is it going to be kind of hard to figure out when do I study? You know, how long is it going to take me to actually get an associate's and a bachelor's and all that jazz? I don't know. I'm gonna take it as it comes, and I'm gonna take one class at a time. And you know, if it takes me twice the time it takes anybody else, then fine. But I'm gonna get there, and I'm gonna be the reason why I get there. And for many of you, you gotta ask yourself, why have you been pushing your goals off? Is it because you don't want to be an electrician? Is it because you don't believe in yourself? Is it because you don't want to go and fail and expose who you really are, that you're not that good of an electrician, you know, as we tell ourselves in our minds, that you're not that smart? You don't want to go back to the job site looking like a failure, looking like you're not that smart. Whatever the reason is, I don't know what the reason is for you. I'm just throwing things out there. Whatever the reason is, you have to do a little bit of soul searching, and you need to ask yourself, why haven't I got certified yet? And whatever the answer is, man, maybe it's because you're afraid to not do that overtime. You're afraid you're going to lose your job, and that's okay. Maybe you're afraid to not, you know, spend that time relaxing and watching TV because you think you could get too stressed out if you don't have some leisure time. It's okay. You have to come to terms with the reality of where you are, but you have to have that honest conversation with yourself and say, man, am I stressed out? Do I, you know, Is that why I binge watch TV or Netflix or scroll instead of studying? Am I stressed? Am I depressed? Am I just fearful? Because when you could pinpoint the reason, you'll be able to find the solution. Because you'll never be able to find a solution for a problem you don't know you have. So with that said, guys, I'm going to tell you how to register for the giveaway for an NEC and a Journeyman Prep book just like this. 2020 or 2023, you get to choose. Not a 2026. I ain't doing that. That's too expensive. But 23 or 2020, this is what you do. You're going to email theyoungelectricianpod@gmail.com. I'm going to have the link below to our email, theyoungelectricianpod@gmail.com. And the subject is going to be taking ownership. That's what you're going to write in the subject, taking ownership. And in the body, you're going to write, I'm taking ownership. That's what you're going to do. Taking ownership in the subject, and then I'm taking ownership. And what I'm going to do is, close to the end of the month, I'm going to announce on all the social medias and on the podcast who the winner is. And then I'm going to email you. That's why I'm having you guys email me. So I'll have your email. And I'm going to announce the winner. If you guys want, drop your socials, not your social security, drop your social media links in the on the email as well. So when I could give you guys a shout out on social media if you guys want it, or just drop your name so I could give you a shout out there. And I'm just going to announce who the winner is. And yeah, and then I'm going to purchase you guys a Journeyman Prep book and a brand new NEC of your choosing. And I'm going to send it to you guys via the mail. With that said, guys, sign up for the giveaway. Tell other people about it. Tell other people come here, watch this episode. And tell them if they want to sign up for the giveaway. They have to watch the episode and figure out how to do it themselves. Also, if you guys are a contractor or you work for a contracting company, then we are partnering with Jobber. So if you guys want 14 days free of Jobber, then I'm going to have a link in the description below. You guys can click that link. You guys get 14 days free. And then I think you get like 3 months half off after that. One thing I want to say about Jobber that I really like is I didn't realize the entry point to Jobber was so low. I think it's like $39 a month starting, but obviously you'll get it for like half off or something like that for like 3 months. I recommend checking it out, dude. It's awesome. It's really cool. So I recommend checking out Jobber. Let them know the Young Electrician sent you, and I will catch you on the next one. Peace.